Looking back at 2024, we've seen some excellent value releases this year for those of you looking to upgrade or moving into IEMs for the first time. At the start of the year, we had the 02 Critical and 7Hz collab, a popular choice for those who prefer a warmer, bassier sound. Personally, I felt they were a little bit overrated unless you're using extra amplification with them. For those who like a brighter sound, SIMGOT's EW200 has been even more popular. And with good reason, as these are a very technically capable set for the price, although they had their shortcomings, giving me driver flex and the accessories weren't that great either. With a more neutral sound signature and the option to buy with a USB cable, meaning you don't need an extra DAC, EPZ Q1 Pro has been my pick, under $50 for most of this year. But just in time for the January sales, we now have a new leader in the best IEM under $50, and it's come from Kefine with the Klean. The Klean typically retail at $50 exactly, but with the January sales that will be coming down to around $44. I've left a link in the description. Looking at the specifications, we've got a single 10mm DLC composite diaphragm dynamic driver with an N52 neodymium magnet. With a 32 ohm impedance and a sensitivity of 107 dB, these are very straightforward to drive, although you will get a slight uptick in performance, particularly in the width of the sound stage, which expands slightly with additional amplification. And when it comes to the accessories and what you get in the box, Kefine like to keep it simple. They don't give you a wide selection of ear tips and different carry cases like Dunu do, for example, but unlike many of their competitors, the cable, tips and carry case are perfectly usable. You don't have to throw them out and use something else straight away. The 4-core silver-plated oxygen-free copper cable is much better quality than you get from an equivalent IEM from the likes of SIMGOT. It's a 2-pin 0.78mm and they mark on the L and the R on the connectors. And the ear hooks are robust enough that they don't move around, but loose enough to give you maximum comfort. There's one set of ear tips in small, medium and large, and it's quite good quality, grippy, giving good isolation. But it would have been nice to have seen a bit of variety here. The case is fairly generic, but there's enough room to fit your cable, your tips and the one accessory we haven't mentioned yet, the gold coloured interchangeable filters which give the Klean two distinct sound profiles. When I saw that the Klean came with dual filters, this definitely piqued my interest, because whilst it's not unheard of under $50, you do very rarely see it, and when it's done well, it can give you two distinct sound profiles that can give the IEM added versatility. A note of caution though, these removable filters are probably the smallest and most low profile I've ever tested. It means you'll definitely want to store them in the plastic bag that they come with, because these could easily fall out and you won't notice them. And you want to take care when you're removing the ear tips as well, because if they're not screwed on properly, they might come flying off, and again you'll have a great difficulty trying to find them. Looking at the design now, the Klean is both attractive and ergonomic. The chamfered edges to the 6-sided faceplate give it a tastefully premium look. On the inside you can see some mechanical reinforcements to this two-piece construction, which bear testament to the build quality and suggest that these will have good longevity. They're even lower profile than both the Delci and the Delci AE, suggesting these could be a great option for small ears. But regardless of how big your ears are, the subtle curvature and strategic positioning of tuning holes are going to optimize comfort. For long listening sessions, this is one of the most comfortable sets I've ever tested, and its low profile means there's no ugly protrusions. Whilst comfort, build quality and accessories are all without doubt nice to have, the most important thing that we're looking for here is the sound. And the Klean definitely passed that test with flying colours, giving you both strong performance in their price category and versatility. Looking at the graphs of Kefine's previous releases, the Delci and the Delci AE, we can see that they're definitely on the warmer leaning side with a thicker note weight. The elevated mid-bass and roll-off in the presence region seem to categorise Kefine's house sound. Whilst I personally love this kind of sound signature, it isn't necessarily for everyone, especially if you're looking for a bit more excitement and energy. And whilst Kefine have pretty much stayed true to this, the additional tuning nozzle breaks away from it a little bit, and on paper at least, it makes the Klean a certainly more versatile looking and sounding set. The silver nozzle is clearly closest to Kefine's house sound, although the emphasis is slightly more on the sub bass than the mid bass, as was the case with the Delci. Whilst its laid back nature and full of bass response stays true to Kefine's house sound, and whilst this adjustment comes with a slight reduction in the bass impact and warmth, there's still plenty of body, the bass is faster and punchier, there's more air in the upper trebles, and vocals and instruments sound cleaner. Looking at the silver nozzle first, the bassier presentation of the two, and it's a quite well balanced bass as well, giving you plenty of rumble in the lower registers, but enough texture in the mid bass to give instruments and vocals proper body, and there's very evident texture and layering throughout. The bass is deep and satisfying, but it is also well controlled, so if you're a bass head who prefers quantity over quality, it still might not just be enough for you. For me though, the silver nozzle with the clean definitely hits the sweet spot. The mid-range is slightly recessed, but it gives a smooth, engaging and clean presentation. Vocals are very natural, with male vocals in particular having lots of body, and instruments organic. String instruments and percussive elements in particular have a very lifelike feel. If you listen to a lot of female vocals for long listening sessions, you'll particularly appreciate the clean. They arrive with authority, but they're lush and creamy, and thanks to that roll off in the presence region, they never sound too harsh or shrill, but they don't meld into the background either. And the treble just works so well with the overall sound profile. The lower trebles are natural, smooth and relaxed, but there's still a good extension giving you adequate air and sparkle. And for me, the treble is a big improvement over the Delci, which could sound a little bit coarse. By contrast, the clean is very much smoothed out and cleaned up, for want of a better phrase. With the black nozzle, the tonal balance is shifted somewhat thanks to that elevated upper mid-range and the thinning out of the mid-bass. You've still got a palpable sub-bass, but the texture on the mid-bass certainly isn't there compared with the silver nozzle. Male vocals have a lighter note weight, and instruments in this area have a little bit less depth. In the upper mid-range, the black nozzle delivers extra air that the silver nozzle didn't, giving it a much less intimate feel, with vocals attacking a bit more aggressively. The micro detailing here appears a little bit stronger compared with the silver nozzle, but at the expense of musicality. As I alluded to previously, versatility is the real strength with the clean, because as I said, you've got two completely usable nozzles with slightly different focuses in terms of the tonality, but both giving you a very usable and very enjoyable sound, albeit delivered in a slightly different way. Looking at the technical performance, the clean beats Kefine's Delci on instrument separation and imaging at the expense of a slightly more intimate soundstage. You've still got good depth and height, and this intimacy plays well with genres such as soul, jazz and funk. Layering capabilities are good, creating a natural sense of space that doesn't feel artificially expanded or compressed. And whilst the clean strength is in its musicality and versatility, you'd have to spend quite a bit more, probably upwards of $100, to guarantee any kind of improvement in technical performance. Take the Dunu Titan S2 for example, one that I reviewed quite positively on this channel not that long ago. You're paying $25 to $30 extra for this set, but the clean beats it comfortably in instrument separation and imaging. SIMGOT's EW200 is an equally technically adept performer in its price category, but any marginal gains you might have in micro detailing you lose in various different aspects, notably in build quality and versatility, but also in naturalness, which the clean has in abundance. The black filter on the clean actually gives you a very SIMGOT style experience, albeit with a little less crunch and energy. For me, the SIMGOT tries to flex its detail retrieval a little bit too much, sounding harsh and unnatural. In the intro, I talked about how much I like the Q1 Pro and why I prefer it to the EW200. It's still a bit bright, although more neutral leaning than the EW200, and certainly not as aggressive. The clean match the Q1 Pro's natural tonality, but give the sound much more body. Whilst the Q1 Pro isn't a bad set from a technical perspective, the clean beats it in pretty much every area, giving you better instrument separation, a slightly wider soundstage, and certainly more precise imaging. Whether you'd pick up the clean over the Delci AE from Kefine is a harder question to answer. Both are unquestionably well constructed, although the clean has a slight edge due to being more low profile. The Delci AE has a very unique sound signature, at least with the silver nozzle, where it is much warmer and thicker than the clean. The gold nozzle on the Delci AE is similar to the silver nozzle on the clean, but the staging is more expansive and has greater depth and height on the Delci AE. although the Klean offers a minor improvement in the imaging. If you favour two flavours of warmth, then you'll probably prefer the Delci AE, but if you like something that gives you a bit more versatility, then the Klean is a better bet. So as a package, it's really hard to argue with picking the Klean. Certainly, for example, as your first IEM, this is going to tick a lot of boxes. Those starting out in this hobby in particular may not know whether they prefer a warmer or a brighter sound, and perhaps feel intimidated by diving into an EQ. The dual tuning nozzles and the versatility it brings means you've effectively got two different sets of IEMs, and you can start to learn a bit more about yourself and which sort of sound you prefer. And the high quality, low distortion drivers Kefine have used, as well as the exceptional build quality for the price, mean you're getting great bang for buck, a true bargain at $49. By the time you're watching this, no doubt we've crept into 2025, so it seems like the ideal opportune moment for me to say a big thank you for supporting the channel. Do please continue that support by giving the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Coming up, we've got reviews of over-ear headphones from QCY and Moondrop, more IEMs including Dunu's Brain Dance, and another big comparison of those best TWS under $100, this time from the likes of Earfun, Redmi and many more. Do you own the Klean? If so, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section below. Happy New Year from me. It's ReganCipher signing off.